Hi, it's Julie Bean Pottery again, back with part 2 of the Pinch Pot mug. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, definitely check that out first because we're starting in the middle right here. So we have 2 components. One, we have a pinch pot bottom that we have pinched out and then flattened on a bowl covered in paper, and that's been firming up just a little bit. And while that was firming up, we pinched out a cylinder. Okay, so we've been doing this with clay and our hands. All right, definitely check out part 1 to see how we got here. All right, those of you rejoining me for part 1, welcome back. Here's your 2 parts. And we're going to be making a mug. Now, as I had said, I really like this kind of uneven lip in it, and I'm going to keep that, okay? So I'm going to go to my bottom. I'm going to turn upside down and go to my bottom, which you'll remember I did trim. Now, because my top isn't even, it's going to be uneven here, but it's okay. I'm working on the level side, so it'll be level when I turn it back over. So never fear, okay? I can see some of this might bother you, but we'll go for it. Okay, so we'll take our trusty fork, and again, if you're just joining, part 1 has all the tools that you need for this project. They're few and far between: hands, clay, a wooden spoon, paring knife, or plastic knife, okay? Bowl with water, and a paintbrush. Okay, so we're going to take our handy fork. You can also use a needle tool or any other scoring tool. This is quarantine clay tools for those of you who are house foraging for your clay tools. Okay, so I'm just going to score this. What I tell kids when I teach kids, and I can tell all of you guys too, is you're making hashtags, okay? Hashtags, the hash marks, back and forth. You can see, nice and rough. Okay, that's important. Then you're going to take some water and your paintbrush. And what all of that does is it creates a little bit of a slurry right in this area. Okay. Now we're going to take our setting up bottom, and you see it's nice and rounded, and we want that rounded part. So first we're going to place it over the mug gently tap down. Okay, lift up, and what you'll see, I don't know how well you can see this, can't see it, to tap a little bit. Okay. You'll see, you can kind of see it right along here. You'll get a little bit of a, my lighting is so bad, residue of where it attached. So that's how you know where to trim. So I'm going to trim, I'm going to go with a paring knife. You'll see a little mark, okay? And you're going to trim right on that mark. All the way around. There is going to be some scraps. That's why we didn't have to worry so much about, you know, how this looked before. Again, you can use your plastic knife, not a problem. Alright, so now that we've gotten that, don't get rid of this clay, we're going to use it for the handle. We're going to re-wet this, and re-score a little bit, and re-wet. And what we're doing is we're creating this nice slurry, and it's going to act like our glue, okay? So we're going to take this lovely little setup, and you know, the reason why we put this to the side on the newspaper covered bowl while we were making this component is it sets it up just a little bit, okay? The firmer it is, the more likely it'll keep a little bit of that rounded shape, and we want to kind of lift this up and give it a little pizzazz beyond just like a straightforward mug. Okay, so we're gonna lay this on. It's not gonna be perfect, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? This on, and we're going to take our paddle, and we're first going to paddle just along here to push this in. So as you guys know, I cheat, I have a lazy Susan. Alright. trim it off. This might be something if you are doing this project with kids that a parent does. Okay. Okay, so you have this lovely kind of like weird shape. That looks weird. It really does. But I trust it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay, so the next thing we have to do, I don't know how well you can see in there. We have to do some smoothing. So we're going to take our fingers, reach down in, and we're holding this in our hand to keep it supported. We're going to reach down in and we're going to smooth the inside edge. This does two things. One, it helps attach the two pieces, and you do want to turn this as you're doing it. You want to push and smooth into your hand because that'll support the clay underneath it. And this does two things. One, it helps it keep it nice and attached and strong. You don't want it popping off, right? Even though we put the slip and the glue on. And two, it'll make it easier to clean. Okay, so if we have a bunch of, you know, weird sections in there, it's not going to be as easy to clean. Okay, so now we have that. And so it's just going to be a much firmer attachment that we've, kind of pushed that all together. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to paddle this a little bit for shape. Right now we kind of have this, rounded thing. And, if we put this upright, it's going to just fall. So we're going to put it upright, and we're going to want to tap it into place. And so now what happens is we have this nice little lifted foot, right? A nice little lifted foot. You can see we have this flat part. And so we're just going to reinforce that. We're going to flatten this with our paddle. And then for here, we're just going to emphasize that lift, that angle, maybe that angle flavor. So now we're paddling for shape instead of attachment. And this is just aesthetic. Okay, you can see how it's a little bit, firmer angle. So now when I set that down, see how it has a nice little lifted part, doesn't look quite so strange. I am going to go ahead and trim this top and make it more even. I know I had said in part one I was going to leave it, but I'm going to make it more even. I'm feeling peer pressure through the internet. Alright, so I'm just going to take my paring knife, or again you can use a plastic knife, and I'm going to trim this. Establish my edge, and the reason this is important is so right now I have this like cut edge. If I reestablish my edge with my fingers, it's a much better mouthfeel. So if you're really interested in kind of like thinking about functionality of pieces, and here we're just having fun and making a mug, but if you really want to think about the functionality of pieces, I have a blog post video, a vlog if you will, a few posts back about functionality, talking about functionality, and so, and mugs in particular functionality. So don't feel, there's so much that goes into it. It's kind of why I like functional work personally. Okay, so I have this. I'm just going to do a little shaping, and I'm going to do this with my hand. So I'm going to use this part of my finger and my finger on the outside, and I'm just going to round. So I'm going to make a motion like this with my hand. And not like in tons of areas, just to, I don't know, smooth it. Do some shaping. Compress that inside a little bit. So So compression in clay is really important. And the pinching method is so great because we're compressing automatically. We're stretching, but we're compressing between our fingers at the same time. And that compression really helps clay keep its shape. It really helps it keep its, we've stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched, and now, you know, the compression helps it like go, okay, you're stretched, it's okay. The new stretch state is okay. And so, you know, pinching is compressing and stretching at the same time, which is the beauty of it, you know. All right, so I have that. Check my bottom. So I have this nice little cylinder, mug, cylinder. Now it needs a handle, okay? So, you know, we're looking at this. You can decorate this, you can texture it, you can do all sorts of things. I kind of like, personally, the fingerprints. If this is a project you're doing with air dry clay, just let it dry and paint it. Who cares? It's just a mug for fun. You can make it a vase. You know, if it's big enough, this could be a great little bud vase. All right, so we're gonna take some of our scrap clay. I'm gonna put this to the side for a minute. We're gonna take some of our scrap clay and smush it together. And we're gonna make what looks like a turd. It does, I'm sorry. I've taught way too many kids classes. Okay, so we're going to roll it out into a coil. So you can start it like this. You can put it on a surface and roll. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's hard to do up above, but we're gonna roll it out. All right, take this. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and we're going to, with our heel, our hand, we're going to flatten it out. Okay? Take this, flatten it out. And what that does is it gives us a nice little curve thing. You could pinch this a little bit if you wanted, just to extend it, maybe thin it out a bit. All right? And you'll notice when I pinched mine a little bigger, I kind of pinched it into a C shape because that's going to be our handle shape, you know. So we're going to take this and we're going to figure out how we want to do the handle. I'm kind of thinking like this. So what I like to do for that is I take the end that I'm attaching, two ends that I'm attaching, and I thin them even more. So I don't know how well you can see that. I've thinned them even more. And then I score, and you can use your fork or any other scoring tool. And in this instance, because I'm going to attach the handle this way, I'm scoring here and I'm scoring here, kind of opposite ends. It's best to support that when you're doing it. And then the water on both. And you want to do both because we're going to attach the top and then kind of attach the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure out where you want your handle. And I'm going to do the top first. So you'll see this. And then I'm going to look at it. I'm going to use the camera. And you want to get it nice and even. It's really easy to place it slightly here and even just slightly off. It's not a good thing always. I'm going to look at it. Hold on for a second. Okay. And then I'm going to attach that. Your clay, if it's not holding its shape when you do this, do not pick it up this way. Let it wait till it firms and holds its shape a little bit. And then I'm going to press that in. And you'll see I'm kind of smoothing this in right here as well. Just for some extra attachment. And my hand is on the inside for this whole attaching part. And that's really important. So you have something to grip onto. Okay. Perfect. Alright, there's my handle, my mug. You don't want your handle to really come up above the rim functionality wise. When you clean this, you're going to be putting it like this. And so if the handle's above the rim, it's going to like kind of be awkward. Not going to sit in the dishwasher very well, or in the drying rack, or in your cupboards. All right, there we go. A Pinch Pot mug.